Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Lawton Makovec. And what we're going to talk about is his mistakes, how you can learn from them. Remember guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. We do it by providing tools and resources to help grow the business you want to have and live the life that you want to live. So Lawton, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me, John.
Awesome. I'm excited to talk about your mistakes because, being in the business, I've obviously made a lot of my own. But before we jump into the weeds, tell our audience a little bit about you. Where you came from, what your background is, how you got into real estate.
Sure. So I first got into real estate when I was 18. I moved to the market that I'm in now in Wichita, Kansas. Greater metros, right under 1 million, I think, in our total greater metro. And I moved here from a town of 300 people. Wow. I had 13 kids in my senior class, real small. And
real small.
Yeah, we were 8-man football, no stoplight.
Yeah, 2 teachers in the school.
Yeah, everything you hear about and read about in a country song or in a Hollywood movie about a small town,
right.
That's the town that
awesome.
That inspired it. So
that's awesome.
But it was great. I loved growing up there. And I always wanted to go into real estate. And unfortunately, you can't go into real estate in a town of 300 people. There's not enough houses. So
yeah,
so I moved to the big city, Wichita, and moved here with a credit card and a dream, and just decided to get into real estate and go from there. So I cut my teeth as an agent. I met my business partner at a networking event and followed up with him relentlessly. He's a billion years older than me. Now he's 20, 22, 21 years older than me. I hope he hears this. He's 20 years older than me. So very different stage. And I met him at this networking event and I was like, yes, I want to be
nice.
I want your life. I want your car. I want your job. I just want to be you.
Right.
And he was like, cool, man, leave me alone. And then I totally didn't. I totally didn't leave him alone. I emailed him. I called him a billion times and he never, ever got back with me. So eventually I got tired of waiting and I quit my job. I drove to his office and just sat in his lobby and just waited until he met with me. And he came out and he was like, you got 2 minutes. What do you want? I take the hint. I don't want to, I don't need. And I was like, man, I already quit my job and I don't know, but this seems right. I want to go into real estate and you're super cool and rich. And I just want to be you. Yeah. And he was like, all right. I got an old laptop in the back. If you just want to do some bitch work. And I was like, perfect. So I was his intern for 90 days. And then he was like, you should get your license. You can do this. And
So was this a real estate agent or real estate
Yes.
investor? Okay, so this was an
Well-
agent.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
both.
Okay.
He's a real estate agent. He's got a property management company, and he's got a couple hundred doors.
Got
Big
it.
real estate investor.
Got it.
And so I was around him. That was my first and only impression of real estate. And I was like, cool, all of that, just going to pick that up and send it over here into my life. Right? Easy. So finally he was like, you should get your license. You should do this. And I was like, cool. I don't have any money. And he's like, I'll pay the $2,000 ish, whatever, to get your license and your dues and everything up and running. And you can pay me out of your first check. And a month later, I had my first closing and I got a check in my hand for like $13,000. And I was like, this rocks. And
That's awesome.
I never stopped. And now that's all I've ever done is real estate.
Okay. Back in the day, what were you doing before? You said you left your job to go do this. What was your job before?
I was working at a golf course. I had just graduated high school.
Okay. And
So-
you said you've always wanted to be in real estate. Where did that influence or where did that come from?
Couldn't tell you.
So no family members, no friends,
No
nobody in real
family
estate?
real estate, no investment background, no rich dad, poor dad, no nothing. Just everybody my whole life was like, you should go into sales. And I was like, all right, cool. I don't know what that is, but everybody always told me to do it. And I was like, what am I going to sell? And I was like, I like houses, like all the TV shows about selling houses. I'm like, let's give it a whirl. Like, worst case, I'll just go back to school with everybody else.
Yep.
So
With YouTube,
yeah.
why was it important for you to get in a mentor, someone who, why were you seeking someone out to learn from for free, basically,
Sure.
versus just say, hey, I'm going to do this on my own and I'll get there.
Yeah. I think looking at the time, I wouldn't have been able to give you an answer. It just seemed like the right thing in my gut. But looking back on it, because people have asked me that question before, it was more about like shortening the learning curve and just opening up doors.
Yeah.
But it's so different what I did and like the route that I took, so different than the people that reach out to me or people that I know reach out to other investors that are like, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain? And I'm like, I don't need you to buy. I can buy my own $6 latte in exchange for a decade's worth of information. No, I came to this guy and I was like, I don't know what this looks like, but I want to be you. I just want to be around your ecosystem, your whole everything.
Sure.
And I was like, I'll work for free. I don't care. Like, the only thing I asked him to do was share his calendar with me so that when he had an appointment at 1 o'clock, me too. I was leaning up against his car. I'm like, I'm going.
Love it.
I don't know where we're going or what we're doing, but I'm along for the ride. And I got to sit in the passenger seat while he took phone calls. And I got to take notes about how he talked and what he said. And he would introduce me to different people that, later down the road, they would become lenders, investors. And it like what goes hand in hand with who you know, of course. And
yeah, of course.
I think that everybody talks about, it's who you know, it's not what you know. It's like, I think that's bullshit. Like, who you know will get you in the door. What you know will keep you there.
Sure.
So, if someone goes out on a limb and, your uncle makes an introduction or gets you an internship, but you're a moron and you don't know anything, you make your uncle look bad and you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, right.
You still have to be good at what you do. So And there was a ton of education. I did go the YouTube U route, and I read the books, and I was listening to podcasts, and I was, practicing my pitch, all of that, all the time.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
It was a constant learning and, self-education,
Yes.
self-investment. While I was also like, it was the who and the what at the same time that just hockey sticked my career.
Did you have savings
No.
put aside you weren't making money. How are you paying your bills?
Credit cards.
Oh,
Love
it.
I sold my first house inside of the first month of.
Oh,
me
okay.
being
So you had a
licensed.
knack for this thing.
I do think that there is some natural talent of just sales.
Mhm.
So yes, I had a knack and have a knack, I guess, but I know I wouldn't have had that first closing that fast if
Sure.
not for my mentor.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. And the preparation and the studying him and the
100%.
practicing, all that type of stuff.
I was ready when the opportunity came.
Got it. So you got your license.
Yep.
You said it took you less than a month to get your first deal.
Yep.
What were you think some of the challenges that you were coming across or mistakes that you made when you first started doing this? Getting your license, doing all that stuff.
Not saving money and like really learning how to ride the roller coaster of being on commission. And
Yeah.
I don't think that, in my first year or two, there's any like handful of mistakes of like, oh man, if I'd have done this and this and this differently. It's like,
Right.
that's just your first year of sales. Like, you don't know anything, and it's eat what you kill or you
Yeah.
don't eat kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest thing that I would say that I shouldn't have done. It's not something that I regret because it was cool when I was 18 years old, whatever.
Right.
But I think I got licensed in March, and then by like the end of that calendar year, I think I I cleared 100,000 in those like first 8 months or 9 months, whatever it was. And so
Okay.
like any self-respecting 18-year-old, I went out and bought a Range Rover like a moron.
Spent all your money.
Moron. Spent all my money, didn't have any
Yep.
money set aside for taxes. I didn't know any of this crap. And so afterwards I went to my mentor and I was like, I just got this tax bill. And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, what do you mean, yeah? I didn't know about any of this. I didn't know that this was going to happen. Like, I don't know anything. And he was like, okay, I need to like actually teach you everything. And so he did. And, from then on, it was more, like that was really, I think, when it became not just I'm your broker and you're an agent relationship, but like,
Mhm.
okay, let me make sure you don't squander this opportunity.
You don't fail too hard, right?
Yeah. So that was good. And then, obviously I think there's a lot of lessons along the way. My past life as an agent of, I wish I would have house hacked. Like looking back, I wish I would have bought a duplex, lived in one half, not had to pay rent, blah, blah, blah. But no, I wanted to live downtown in a cool apartment and just like, there was a lot of ego driven decisions that, they weren't catastrophic. Like they didn't
Right.
hamstring my career. I would just be farther along if I didn't make those mistakes.
Got it. So you were with this guy, and then did you go out and start your own brokerage? Where did it lead? Where did all this lead to?
Sure. So we built up a team at a large big box brokerage, and eventually we outgrew that. We had our own office, we had our own staff, we had our own location. Like we had everything. We were like an official satellite office.
Mhm.
I don't know how they let us get away with it for as long as they did, but we were bringing in a lots of deals. So maybe that's why.
Right. Money talks.
Yeah. Eventually, we were like, we paid them how much money last year?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And we had to pay to put their logo on our business cards. That's dumb. We didn't get anything else from them. So we decided to make the leap, or to take the leap. We started our own brokerage in 2019, 2020, one of the two. And that has, just kind of grown into its own thing. It wasn't long after that I exited it, the day-to-day operations of it, and decided to invest full time. So I started investing, and I'm sure we can get into it more. I started investing in 2018. It was more of an occupational hazard. Like, I was an agent doing lots of deals. I had a good relationship with other investors in our community, because the investor deals as an agent, those will keep you fed during the months where,
your retail stuff ain't
retail stuff. They're already in school. It's Christmas. They're going on summer break. No one's looking at houses. The investors keep you fed in those down months. So I just ingrained myself with a ton of guys that were just kind of starting out, and I'd still got good relationships with them today. And they're huge buyers of ours on the wholesale side. So I started investing in 2018. And I started flipping houses. That was my first I had seen other guys do it, and I saw the settlement statements, and I'm like, I'm only making $3,000 on this as the agent. This guy's making a killing. I'm like, and he's a moron. I can do this. This is great. So I started doing it, and I lost $60,000 on my first one.
Why?
Because I gave all my money to my contractor. He was a buddy. Well,
so you gave a blank check.
But he was a buddy, and he was like, he had what I thought was this big, reputable construction company. And I went to my mentor, and I was like, I'm going to flip this house with Andy, and it's going to go great. And, I'm just going to, give him the money, and, I'm going to keep doing the real estate thing. And he was like, don't get distracted, be an agent, do that full time. Like, you've only been doing this for 2 years. Like, it's not on autopilot yet, man. Like, you should stay focused and stay in your lane. And I was like, I'm just going to give him a check, and he's going to give me the keys when it's done. Like, it's not going to take any of my time. Wrong. I gave him the check, and nothing freaking happened except people were showing up at my office wanting paid because the contractor I gave $60,000 to didn't pay the painter or the tile guy or the sheetrock guy or anything. So the house got done, but I had to spend another $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on the house.
Where'd this other guy go?
He was in town, just running around, but I didn't have anything in writing. I didn't have anything.
Oh. Okay, mistake number one to make sure. Writing.
Moron.
In writing.
Moron. Get everything in writing. Don't pay your contractors labor deposits. Buy the damn material yourself. Control your costs.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to do this flip?
Like 3 or 4 months. Like,
Not bad.
I dumped it got done really quick. I just had to pay for it twice.
And no recourse on the dude.
No, nothing.
Jeez.
I mean, I don't think he's in business anymore, and he's been in and out of jail a couple times, but I didn't get any recourse. I just, the world kind of took care of that. The universe.
The universe did. Now, Did you continue to flip? Did you because a lot of people in that situation would be like, hey, dude, I'm done with flipping, man. Forget that. Forget contractors.
I had to go make the money back.
Yeah.
I had to go make it back. I was like, okay, if I can remove, this actually went pretty well. And it sold the first day on the market, and the buyer repairs were good. Everything went well. If you remove the contractor from the equation, this really didn't go so bad. I could do this again. And so I did, and I've probably done see, that was 2018. It's 2015. Yeah. So I was 18. I would say it was, I would say it's probably 120 houses later.
Okay.
And, it went really good until I decided to make a business out of it. And not
Then
just
what
a side
happened?
it stopped being real estate investing, and I accidentally built a construction company.
Yeah.
And I'm not a contractor. And the amount of meetings I was in about sheetrock and tile and paint bids and Lowe's versus Home Depot, I'm like, I'm a sales and marketing guy, and
Yep.
this wholesale business we have is killer. And I'm funneling money out of this wholesale business to throw at these houses to get them done because I want to be the big flipper guy, scale up a friggin' construction moron. I'm a big, dumb guy. That is an arena that is so difficult to have an advantage in, at least in our market. Like in our market, if you not a home run, but a solid flip, you'll make 18, 20 grand a pop.
Okay.
A lot of risk.
Yeah.
And a lot of everything. But I think our average before we like really scaled it up was like 16.8. So call it 17,000. And we're doing 10 of them a year, 12 of them a year. And I'm like, boom, this is a nice little side hustle.
Sure.
It's not bad. You know, it's an extra couple $100,000 a year. I'll take it. Then we did like 40 houses in 1 year. And I was like, dude, if we could just make 15 grand on 40 of them, that's way better than 17 grand on 10 of them. And I think we probably lost $200,000.
Oh my gosh.
Moron. It's an insane thing to try and compete in unless you are liquid. You don't have
Yep.
to go borrow money, or you're a contractor and you can use it and like you can use your own crews and your own internal infrastructure and get labor at cost, or at least nearly at cost. But
Did you ever go out and build or find private or hard money? I mean,
Yeah.
hard money's everywhere, but you ever go out and find private money to use as well?
Yeah. That's all I've done.
Okay.
I've only ever done a flip with a bank one time. Everything else has been private lenders. So tens of millions of dollars in deals done there. Dozens.
And in this whole time, are you wholesale? You said you're wholesaling too, right? So you said you're funneling
Yes.
the money from the wholesale into this. So when
yeah,
at
we
what
skipped
point?
over that part, man. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. What got you to start the wholesaling part of it?
All the wholesalers in town, in our market, this was 2020. We were flipping 15, 20 houses a year, and all the wholesalers in our market sucked ass. They were horrible. They were shady. They were always trying to renegotiate the price. The day before closing, they would, call me and give me hey, we need you to pay $7,000 more. We gave you too good of a deal. And I was like, that's not my problem. Like,
Yeah, you're
it's not a
bad.
contract. And they'd be like, man, we're just not going to show up to closing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've got everything lined up. This whole deal is in place. And that happened probably 5 or 6 times.
Where did these guys learn to do wholesaling is my question.
Not from Investor Fuel, let me tell you.
No. Well, that's
No.
damn true.
Damn sure.
That's damn true.
Maybe they learned from your buddy Greg Hellback.
What's that?
I said maybe they learned from Greg Hellback.
Good old
I'm
Greg.
just kidding.
Good old Greg Hellback. What a
Yeah,
great
Greg.
dude. What a
The
great
OG.
dude. Yeah,
The
I
OG.
haven't seen that guy in a long time.
He's a good guy.
Um,
He's good. Anyway, so
okay.
I was like, man, this is bullshit. I'm going to start my own direct to seller marketing just to buy flips. I don't want to
Yeah.
wholesale. I got the agent thing. I'm flipping, buying a couple rentals. I don't need another business, the wholesaling side. I was like, this stinks. I was like, I don't want to do it. It seems like way too much work. I'm just going to drop some postcards and, control my own inventory of flips. And
Yeah.
we did that in July of 2020. And by the end of August 2020, we had bought 2 houses and wholesaled 3 of them.
Nice.
And I was like, this was way easier than I thought. I just called all the investors I was working with as an agent. And I said, hey, man, you buy over here? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you want it for this price? And they were like, sure. I love that. I was like, that's it. That's the whole thing.
Awesome.
That was awesome. I want to do this again. So I was
Easy
like,
peasy.
I was like, this is great. So I doubled down on that. And I think that next month, September, I hired like a transaction coordinator to kind of run everything because I was still busy as an agent and doing the flips and the wholesale. And I was just trying to figure out what I was best at. And the wholesale side just hockey stick. It just blew up.
Love it. What does your team look like now?
I've got one acquisitions person, their acquisitions and dispositions. He fields all of the inbound leads, goes on the appointments, makes the offers, does everything, and then he also handles the dispositions of getting it sold to the buyer, getting the walkthrough, getting their eyes on it, all that, and then have a transaction coordinator in-house as well that handles everything with the seller and the buyer and the title company side.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Now, your lead gen, are you still doing postcards? Are you?
That's probably 70 to 75% of our deals are from our direct mail.
Okay. Hey, what kind of response rate are you getting on those?
I was on Greg Helbeck's podcast 2 years ago, and he asked me the same thing. And when I told him, he spit his water out. We're currently getting a 7.8% response. Almost 8%.
Oh, that's way better than the national average.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? Is it more of a homegrown type of, that type of market to where, it's like people will open mail more?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't dropped mail in, other major metros.
Sure.
So I can't really speak with any level of confidence, but I mean, from what I understand, at least from talking to the other guys in our market that are wholesaling now that are doing direct mail, I mean, they're not even close to, that level of response rate. So I think it has a lot to do with being really targeted with your lists and broadening that criteria with other marketing mediums, whether it's outbound dialing or driving for dollars or texting or, digital, Facebook, PPC, all of that. Right. You can get really, I guess, wider with that because you get the instantaneous feedback. You get insights on the performance of that a lot quicker than you do with direct mail. Anytime we roll out a new card or a new list or anything, I'm married to that for at least 4 months before I'm like, go or no go.
Yeah, you gotta have time to test it and get the results.
Really do, especially with something tangible where you're waiting on someone to read it because maybe they got it 3 months ago and it wasn't the right time, but they held on to it, and so it's like you've really got to let it get into the system.
Right.
So, really, what I think our secret sauce, if you want to call it that, is our marketing. We do everything in house. We design our own postcards. The visual assets and the copy. Wholesaling is a marketing company disguised as a real estate company. So the faster you realize it's not real estate investing, it's marketing, and you treat it and run it like a marketing agency, that's when we really started to see our leading and lagging metrics improve a ton.
Yeah. So let's talk real fast because we like I told you before. I mean, we talked real fast. We're already, what are the mistakes, right? What are the things that people need to look out for and not make? What can they learn from you to not do?
The best piece of advice I ever got was probably a year ago when I'm in the trenches of just digging out of some big mistakes and some big bets and, losing a couple $100,000, flipping houses, just digging back out of that. And I had a business mentor, of mine talk to me. I was talking to him just like, man, does everybody go through this? And he was like, he doesn't have a real estate business. He's got a different business. And he's like, here's the mistake I made. I lost $1 million in 2 years because of the same thing that you're doing, but in my industry, in my business. And he said, and it's stuck with me, and now I tell everybody about it. You chase two rabbits, you lose both of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if I had to go back 3 years ago, I would have just said, man, let's shutter this flipping thing unless it is just a screaming deal that we can cherry pick, that we get where there's no assignment fee, there's no markup, and it's in a killer area, and it's 30 cents on the dollar, and you know after rehab we're in it for 46 cents on the dollar. Like, let's do those. The rest of it, let's assign them. Let's just wholesale them off and get them done.
Yep.
Our business would be farther along. I would have more hair. I would have less stress. My shoulders would have
I got
lower.
that.
Everything. I mean, it's just like you chase two rabbits and you lose both. So find the thing that you're really good at. And I found it. I had the agent thing. I was starting the flips, the wholesale. I was like, let's give it a shot. And it blew up. And
sounds
that's
like it.
when I was like, okay, I'm out of the brokerage, of the day-to-day. I'll see you every month for the P&L meetings, but I'm going over here. Like, I have to take this opportunity.
Right.
And
right.
for 2 years, I mean, we were the market leader essentially overnight in our market. And
that's awesome.
We've just continued to grow on the wholesale side. And I think for that, I don't know if I got bored with the day-to-day, or I mean, there's probably some ego in there as well, but I was like, cool, wholesale king of Wichita. Now I want to go be the flipping king of Wichita. And I am the flipping moron of Wichita. I'll tell you that. Dumb. I'm so bad at flipping houses. I'm a sales and marketing guy, and that's all wholesaling is. And I'm very excited to be on the other side of that, and getting back to being focused on the wholesale side, because when we shifted that focus back internally, almost immediately every single one of our leading and lagging metrics went through the roof, when all of the focus of the resources of everybody in the business went from, okay, that was horrible, let's get back to doing what we do. And it was like we never left.
Well, and that's a problem with like social media and stuff today, is that, you get in, you're doing good in wholesale, and you see someone else that did a flip, and they post on there how it was so great, and stick to your lane, man. Get rid of the shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
Man, awesome stuff. How can people get in touch with you, right? If they want to reach out, if they want to talk to you about how your growth, your pains, all that stuff, how do they get in touch?
They can text me. I'm an easy guy to get a hold of. My number's 316-217-3538. And you can find me on, Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Okay.
I'm on there too if they really want to. But
okay. And then I'll make sure we put in the show notes all of your contact information. But guys, I hope you took notes, man. I mean, I think that last part that we talked about is really one of the biggest keys. Is people get and they see so much out there that they think they want to go and do it all. Stick to a lane. Master that. That's going to be your success ride. Lawton, man, I'm so glad you came on our show, man. I appreciate your time today. Guys, I hope you had a great show as well, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.
I appreciate it, John. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.